Hi, children. It's nice to see you again, okay? We're going to read another book about baby animals. Today, we're going to be reading a book about frogs, right? How frogs become frogs. But remember, yesterday we read a book about what will hatch. And remember that eggs come in different sizes, shapes, colors. We saw that the robin has a blue, their eggs are blue. Some eggs are white, like all the color, all different. Today we're gonna read a story about tales of a tadpole. And right now, if we can observe, look at that, these are eggs. These are the eggs of a mother frog, and they are white. They're round, and those little dots that you see inside, those are the baby frogs. So remember, eggs can be found in trees, in leaves. Remember, we saw the leaf from a small caterpillar. The small caterpillar is on the leaf. It has the little eggs, and it comes out of a little egg. So we can find eggs in nests. We can find them in a leaf. We can find them in a beach, on a tree, or even in daddy's feet. Like we saw the penguin was in daddy's feet. Okay, so remember, eggs have one thing in common, that there's a new life growing inside those eggs. Okay, that's what it has in common. There's a new life growing inside those little tiny eggs. So today we're going to read Tale of a Tadpole, right? And the author is Karen Wayles. Okay, we're going to read about how a frog becomes a frog, right? How does it start? Well, look, it starts in like a little egg, little small eggs. Then they come out and they become little tadpoles. They're called tadpoles. They're baby frogs. Then they grow up. They grow a long tail. They grow feet, teeth, and then they become a frog. So let's see. Okay. Tales of a tadpole, and we can see one right there, and those small little fish. Right now, right here, a tadpole is a baby frog. Remember, a tadpole is a baby frog. This is a tadpole. A tadpole has gills. They have a head. They have eyes. They have a mouth and tail. When a tadpole grows up, it becomes a frog. So look, there's a difference, right? A tadpole becomes a frog. The frog has nostrils, right? It's like a nose, eyes, mouth, right? It has a mouth, eyes. It has a belly. It has webbed feet, like the web is like open like this, webbed feet, and webbed toe, right? Belly, webbed toe. There are different kinds of frogs, right? Very different kinds of frog. There are many more than 4,000 kinds of frogs. There are different shapes, sizes, and colors. And we can see it right here. This is a common frog, a common one, ones that we can see mostly. They live near ponds and tall trees, and near the ponds especially. This one. Green, ornate, horned frog use their big mouths to eat a lot of food. They have a big mouth and they use it to eat a lot of food. There's more frogs here. This one is the Malayan leaf frog. It looks like leaves. This helps them to hide on the forest floor and hunt for food. That's why it's called the Malayan leaf frog, because they live on leaves. This one, the blue and yellow and black, this is a mantella. They are found in many different colors too. These are not the only colors they're found. And the red-eyed tree frogs. Tree because they are always on the trees and they're red-eyed. Their eyes are red. Scare enemies with their big red eyes. They scare their enemies with their big eyes. So we can see that there are different kinds of frogs, okay? This is the most common one that we always see. The tail of a tadpole begins in a pond. Mother frog lays her eggs next to a lily pad. So right here, this is the mommy frog, and she lay all her eggs next to a lily pad. Lily pad, remember we learned about flowers, so lily pad it's a pond flower. Each tiny egg is wrapped in a clear jelly. We can see. Look at how many, those are all her eggs. Look how much eggs are there. Wow, look at that. And they're wrapped up like in a jelly, clear jelly. And those little dots that you see, those are the baby frogs. Those are the eggs, okay? Look at them right here. Inside the jelly, the eggs grow into tadpoles and they wriggle like worms. This is the egg. It's like a jelly. And inside is the baby frog. Tadpoles. They call them tadpoles. Baby frogs are called tadpoles. So look at them right here. They push through the jelly and swim in the water. When they're ready to come out, they push out from the jelly and they're ready to swim. They breathe through gills just like fish. So we look at them right here. After they come out of the jelly, these are them. They have big, like long tails, and they breathe their gills like the fish. The fish has gills too, and they have fish right here. Many other animals live in the pond too, like fish. See? There are shiny goldfish and stickleback backs and gray diving beetles. So we can find beetles, fish, and tadpoles in the ponds. They choose the young tadpoles. They eat the small tadpoles as food. And then right here, trying to eat one. Look. Oh my God, it's trying to eat it. A stickleback feels hungry. He opens his mouth wide. Stickleback is a kind of fish. The little gray tadpoles wriggle their tails and they try to escape so the fish don't eat them. Look at that. And swim away through the water, trying to get away so the fish doesn't eat them. Even the beetle from the water. So the great diving beetle feels hungry too. His hairy back legs beat through the water and he's trying to get the tadpoles to eat them too. Look at that. So the tadpoles escape and hide in the weeds. So in the weeds they can't catch them, so they hide in there. The beetle wants to eat them too. Remember, the tadpoles are so small that fish can eat them. Okay, so here's some facts. Some facts about some important things about frogs. A mother frog can lay as many as 4,000 eggs at once. Wow, that's a lot. The egg jelly has food inside for the growing tadpoles. So in these jelly, the egg jellies, which is this, has a lot of food inside for the tadpoles to eat. So a group of frogs eggs is called frog spawns. They are called frog spawns when there's a big group of frogs like this one. Okay, get them right there. These are the frog spawns, when they call like that when they're in groups. Summer is the best time to spot new adult frogs. Frogs call to one another by croaking, like they make loud noises. A frog, like right? A frog's skin is wet and slippery. Their skin is very wet and slippery. Most tadpoles are eaten by other animals before they grow into frogs. They're so small, the tadpoles are in the ponds. So other animals that are big and they need to have to get food, right? They eat them. Some tadpoles grow legs with tiny webbed toes. Webbed toes are like flippers. They help the small tadpoles push through the water. So we can see here the small tadpoles and look at their feet. Their webbed feet help them move in the water. That long tail is still not turned into a frog, but it's a tadpole still. It looks big there, but remember they're very, very small. Look at them here again. He grows arms with long, skinny fingers. Now he has arms. Look at them there, the arms. And he nibbles on plants and gobbles green pondweed. That's what they eat, plants. Wow, now it's changing. Look at him. Look at this one. Half tadpole, half frog. He rests in the sunshine. He's a half tadpole and a half frog already. He's still over here. It looks like a frog, but it still has that long tail. His tail is shrinking. He's growing, look, and the tail is shrinking already. And it gets smaller and smaller. And look at him right there already. It's turning into a frog. So look at all the changes of a frog. So first it's a small egg, then a very small tadpole, then it has a long tail, and it grows feet. Then it grows the two other his other half tadpole and half frog. He rests in the sunshine. Then his tail starts shrinking, and then it turns into it gets smaller and smaller. And let's see what happens. A new little frog sits on a lily pad. Now he's a new frog in the lily pad. Remember, lily pads are floating on the ponds. So his legs are strong now. He can breathe through his nostrils. His skin is dotted with tiny gold spots. So look at him right there. In the lily pad. And over here, frogs must keep their skin slippery. He hops back in the pond and swims for a while. Then he climbs onto a log. So their skin is slippery. Another frog climbs up and sits beside him. Look at that. They're already frogs. Look how big. And let's see what else. Okay. Now, full grown, he dives through the water. He's not afraid of the stickleback. He swims past the beetle. So now he's big. He's not the little tadpole that the fish and the beetle can eat. Now he can eat them. Over here in the pond, he watches and waits. What does he see with his round beaded eyes? Look at that. Look how big. He seems like he's waiting for something. He wants to eat too. A fly lands above him and he creeps closer and closer. He's gonna try to get this fly. I mean, the fly. He's trying to get that fly. Think he gets it? Let's see. Look what happens. But a big frog jumps up and he snatches the fly with his long sticky tongue. The frogs have very long sticky tongues to catch their bugs. That's how they catch what they're going to eat. So the frog misses his meal, and next time he'll be faster. Since he wasn't fast enough, he couldn't eat the fly. He missed it. Oh, he missed it. Okay, so the golden skinned frog chases a dragonfly. It lands on a lily pad. Under the lily pad are hundreds of frog eggs again. Look at the fireflies where the little baby frogs are. Inside each egg, a tadpole is growing. Each tadpole will grow into a new frog again. And you'll see the process over and over again. An egg, a tadpole, and a frog, right? And the end. And over here, we're going to see the life cycle of a tadpole. First is the tadpole hatches out of the egg. This is the egg. The tadpole's in here, and it turns into a small. It hatches out into a tadpole and has a tail and lives in the water. Look at that long tail. Then the tadpole grows feet and teeth. Remember, it grows feet and teeth. And the tadpole has become a frog. So this is the life cycle of a frog. An egg turns into a tadpole. From the tadpole, it turns into he grows feet and teeth. Remember, and then he grows the tail, and the tail goes away. It gets smaller and smaller until he turns into a frog. Okay. And the end of the tail of a tadpole. So all of you already knows how baby frogs begin. They begin as a small egg. They come out into the water as tadpoles. They grow a big tail. They grow their feet, right? Then their tail gets small and smaller and smaller until it turns into a frog. So it's a process, okay? I hope you like the story, okay? Bye.